Hi, I was at the art center today volunteering, being a monitor, and I made several mugs, and then I had to come home and take care of some things, went for a nice long walk in the sun, take care of myself, and now I'm in the studio attaching the handles, so I thought you might want to see a demo of how I do it. I showed you I made a demo earlier of how to pull handles, and then I stored them all under plastic wrap. And now I'm just going to put them in some hot water real quick, one at a time, as I'm working on them. And then what I like to do is take different shaped cookie cutters and just kind of have some fun with the handles. And where they attach to the mug, on both ends, I like to just give a nice cookie cutter, inspired decoration. So this one I think I will do this diamond shape one. So I'll just lay this down, trying to line everything up. And then I take the cookie cutter at an angle and I try to line it up nice and straight with the handle. And then go in at an angle so that I don't cut the back of the back of the handle. I'm not sure I like the shape of that one, so I think I'm going to try again. Okay, I like that one a little bit better. So I give it a kind of a wiggly shape. And then I take my favorite tool. I've shown this to you a number of times. It's just a tiny bit of the metal rib with teeth in it on a stick wrapped in duct tape, or maybe in this case electrical tape, and it just does a really nice quick job of scoring. I just dunk it in the water, and that's how I make the slip when I score. And I just lay this on the mug and I line up the edge of my board with the counter, and I just lay it in here about where I think I want it. And try to orient it vertically. That leaves a little bit of a impression and a little bit of a slip trail. So I'll just go ahead and slip and score that area. And again, I just add water with this tool by dunking it in water. Then I take this handy dandy tool. And I'm sure my husband would like me to know it's his, but I use it all the time. And I just come right down through the center of that area and follow it straight down to the bottom, making two marks, one at the top and one at the bottom, so you can see where the bottom will attach. And then I slip and score the bottom area. Then I might go ahead and just score this one more time. Make sure it has plenty of slip and scoring. Then I'll just attach that right where I had it before. And what I'm doing is I'm putting my finger on the inside of the mug and my thumb on the outside, and I'm just pinching together like this, just to kind of secure it in place. I don't think that's going to go anywhere. I just like to give it a side to side, kind of a wrap around squeeze. So it kind of wraps around the mug like this. And then I want to make sure it's the right length. So I like to take a look at it from the side and bring it in. This has got a very big curve on it for this particular mug. So I'm gonna lessen that a little bit. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut some of the bottom off. Again, trying to center it so I get a nice shape. You can see there, a little bit of a interesting shape. So then I'm just gonna ease it up to the mug and see if I like how it looks. I might have to cut it a little bit more, possibly. Yeah, it's kind of sticking out right here a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. Looks kind of like far out. And if you have your hand in here, you're balancing this mug at this point, and it's going to want to tip this way. So you really don't want it to be that big of a curve or big of an ear. You want a smaller ear. So I'm going to take a little bit more off. That came out terribly. So I think I'll try this way. It's a little bit better, I think. Yeah, it's a little more interesting. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get some of the Scooby Slip out of here. Okay, and I'm gonna give this a gentle pull because I need the shape to ease up. So I'm just gonna hold it like this and get the handle nice and wet. And this is kind of like a technique of pulling on the mug, and so I'm kind of combining several techniques, just whatever I need to do to get the effect I'm going for. So see how that's a little bit more of a pleasing shape. Still a little bit big out here, but once I get it attached, I can manipulate that gently. So I'm just gonna go ahead and secure the bottom of this handle. And what I'm doing is I have my fingers on the inside of the mug and my thumb on the outside. I'm just pushing like this, and wiggling a little bit, because I want the where I've slipped it and it has all the grooves, I want them to seat among themselves, both on the mug and on the handle. I want them to find a place that is secure and comfortable and where they won't move. Okay. I'm just gently stroking upward on this handle to give the curve that I think would look best. I think you can see now when you hold this handle, your hand will fit in here like this, or even this way, 3 fingers. And it's a nice sturdy handle, but it's not too big. I think proportion wise, it looks pretty pleasing. So now I'm just gonna make this nice and pretty and neat by wiping away any extra moisture. The moisture does tend to run around this line that I've made for the glaze. So So I just want to kind of get it out of the groove there. Then I'm just going to clean this handle area up with a sponge and with a paintbrush. I'm gonna leave it alone, and I'm gonna come back to it a little bit later when it's a little bit drier. Not too dry, but a little bit drier. Just work on the shape a little bit. But right now it's so moist, so wet, I just don't want to disrupt it too much. So that's how you put handles on mugs. After I get all my handles on all the mugs, I think I have 6 or 7 of them here. Yeah, 7 of them. Then I'm gonna take wax and paint it on to where the mug and the handle join one another. And what that will do is that will bring the drying time between the two surfaces into the same amount of drying time. It will kind of equalize it. And the benefit of that is no cracks. Quite often when you join material, something that you've thrown on the wheel that's wet and something that you've pulled or that is slab rolled or something like that, you'll have a crack because the dissimilar moisture content will be a location for a potential crack. So when you put wax on that area, you eliminate that, nearly eliminate that potential for a crack. So I'll show you that in a few minutes. All right.